So in this video today, I want to talk about two fundamental things that I've been thinking about quite recently. Is obviously technology, the development of technology, and the domination of technology over humankind, but also the answer to this that is represented through culture, which is the Amish, and why the Amish, as a way of living, as its own small microcosmic society, is not given enough recognition for them going against the development of technology. For in some sense they kind of see they kind of intuit the natural response against it, because they can kind of tell where it's going and what's going to happen with it eventually down the line. Now, I was reading into a lot of Heidegger's work recently that was very interesting, that links these two things fundamentally together. Heidegger talked a lot about the nature of technology. He talked about something he called the reign of technics. And the reign of technics is basically his philosophy of technology. How technology, what is the nature of technology, how is it going to develop, all this other stuff. And it's very interesting because the more you read into it, the more you can then start to see how the Amish played a very good hand in trying to go against the predictions of technological development, but also the nature of technology, to go against it in that sense, and to develop their own kind of philosophical fortress against something that is going to be so tyrannical in the future. Now, what Heidegger talks about that's very interesting is he talks about the idea of what technology actually is. Now, a lot of people believe that technology is a means to an end, the invention of things, the creation of things, all this type of stuff to create products so that we can use them, all this type of thing. Heidegger instead, he says technology is a mode of being, in the sense that it is something that is going to be existent in society, something that's going to function by itself for its own self-autonomy. And when we start to look at it like that, we can start to see how technology can become very scary, very devastating. Because if it's going to be a mode of being, then that means in some sense that it's going to exist by itself, for itself in some sort of way. And this is obviously what a lot of people are very fearful about with AI development and all of this. But another, in relation to this fundamental statement he makes, he says that what technology does in its nature is that it inframes nature itself, it inframes it. And this is a term he uses that he kind of created, the word inframe, or being inframed, or inframement, which basically means that technology uses nature as a standing reserve to be parasitic upon it, to use it in some sense for its own existence. And you can see this with different examples of how technology inframes nature to basically use it for some other means or for some other purpose. A good example that Heidegger uses is the hydro plant, I think it's called, or the hydroelectric plants that basically use water dams to then use the flow of nature to create and form electricity through hydroelectric plants and all this type of stuff. And he's basically saying, look, this is what happens when you get technology through its mode of being, through its existence, how it inframes nature for its own use, for its own kind of parasitic purposes. Okay, so in what sense can we see inframement, or technology inframing the human species, or the individual? And a good example of that is things like the 2030 agenda with the Internet of Things, which is basically the agenda and the technological development of the fourth industrial revolution, where technology will become this is the transhuman agenda as well, where technology will become attached to the human body in some sense. And things like data collection, harvesting, will be taken from the human individual, because the human individual will be inframed by technology, where data will be taken from the human individual and be collected and used for some other purpose. Because of course you have a lot of these people that are talking about transhumanism now. They're saying, well, the power and the authority over society will be in that which has the data. Okay, so this is an example of, you could say, human individuals, people, being inframed through the autonomy of technology, in which is going to develop dominion over human individuals. Okay, and this is, of course, you can look into this more with the kind of the sociological development of this more when we think of things like smart cities. What will smart cities do to individuals? How will smart cities contain individuals into small places and spaces where they cannot exactly be free and autonomous, but be instead codependent upon technological cities and smart cities themselves? Okay, so this is the big problem. Okay, and Heidegger obviously recognizes this, and the only thing that actually acts as a buffer to this is the Amish communities. Because when we look at the Amish, we can see the Amish as being a philosophy of anti-inframing societies. They are against how technology controls people and lures them in through the seduction of technology, through the uses of technology and all this. The Amish are the only community that really do that. They go against it. They don't. Obviously, you have new order Amish and old order Amish. The new order of the Amish are kind of more into using different forms of electricity and technology, not too much against technology as the old order are. But at the same time, it's still they're still against it to a large degree. They don't use automobiles, they don't use automated farming equipment, motored farming equipment, they don't use they use telephones to a distance that are more kind of out of the community itself, but only telephone usage, things like that. No mobile phones, obviously, no smart technology, anything like that. And, of course, the Christian and all this, and the Amish. The thing that is very much not mentioned within all of this existential threat of technological development is that communities like the Amish, for example, are not used as examples of success, as examples of, this is a good way of living, to maintain community. As soon as you bring in motor vehicles into a society, it gives the ability to people to distance themselves from each other, and therefore, obviously, the expanse of society and all this, but also the disintegration of an internal, intimate community, and then the community itself vanishes from that. And of course, technology in its different ways does that. So this is, of course, a very big issue. The Amish, as I made a post about this, I put it on YouTube, I put it on Instagram, some people may have seen it. They offer a way out of that, and they offer a solution to what Heidegger recognizes with the nature of technology, the problems of technology itself. Of course, he mentions other problems that are obviously existent with technology, such as technological thinking, which is very much based in the rationale of technology, all of this type of stuff. That is obviously something that is already played a massive problem in our society because of the domination of kind of scientific atheism and all this type of thing, and you can see it through architecture, art itself. The idea of, and then the existence of analytical thinking has very much dominated, or you could say more left hemispheric thinking, has dominated the human, or the Western world, to a large degree, to the point where art is very much a dead thing now. There's nothing really that is marvelous in the art space anymore. Everything is very much analytical, descriptive. There isn't really a true expression of passion in the arts anymore, unless someone can show me something that's very, representative of something that's going to be very significant in the future when people look back on it. But right now there really isn't anything like that. And that is because of the domination of technology, how that's influenced our ability to understand what intelligence is and to be able to communicate intelligence, to the point where we only can communicate analytical thought or analytical thinking. And this obviously is slowly a subversion of human intelligence to the point where humans become more robotic and more analytical like robots, and this dehumanizes the individual as well. So he also identifies this problem with technology as well. And again, of course, the Amish, they offer a very good foundation and a very good buffer and solution to this massive problem. So this is kind of mostly what I wanted to kind of highlight in this video is, you know, the importance of these things, and how, to be honest, no one's really talking about this type of stuff. Living the good life through the means of labour and agriculture in the countryside and things like this. You know, everyone is very much wanting to look towards the future with transhumanism and everything, and trying to find a good solution or a positive solution with that, so that people don't fall into the dystopian nightmare that people picture what AI is. But really, I don't think AI or technology is really going to do anyone any favours, as Heidegger very obviously points out, with the idea of enframing the human individual, how technology will gain autonomy in that sense, the will to mastery through the domination of technology, and how there's already examples of how the nature of technology works through its parasitic attachment to nature, to subvert nature, to undermine nature and use it for its own demands of whatever it may be. You know, a lot of people talk about a lot of philosophy people, you know, including myself, have talked about, you know, the idea of the Übermensch and all this type of thing. And a lot of people, sadly, have gone down the route of, you know, looking at the idea of the Superman or the new man or the man of the future in Nietzsche's idea or vision as being this kind of like biological, transhumanistic, androgynous creature that's intermingled with technology and all this type of thing, and intermingling ourselves with technology will give us the Gnostic freedom to be superheroes and all this crap. It's like, it's very, it gets rid of the existence of what it means to be human and what it means to be in accordance with the natural flow of nature itself. And again, the Amish very much prioritizes on that. And they also, even if they don't know of Heidegger's work or anything, they very much intuitively understood what was going to happen with technology in the future, which is why they are doing what they're doing now, and they've been very consistent with it, and they don't have to deal with all the crap that us worldly folk, as they would call it, have to deal with today, with trying to figure out a way around this fundamental issue that is impeding upon our own human existence. So, if you enjoyed this video, guys, make sure to give it a like, comment your thoughts down below. What do you think about all this type of stuff? Not many people talk about the Amish and link it with technology and all this type of thing, and this is the philosophy of the Amish life. So, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Of course, if you're interested in doing any one-on-one work with me, or you want to jump on a free discovery call and want to work against anything like procrastination, you want to develop and understand your own personal myth, and work against any fundamental issues that I often talk about on this channel with regards to self-limiting thoughts, negative automatic thoughts, things like bad habits, all of that type of stuff. If you want to work with me on anything like that, you can jump on a free one-on-one discovery call with me. You'll find a link in the description below, and we can see what we can do to fix any of the problems that you may have on that call. And of course, subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. I'll be posting more stuff more consistently over the next couple of weeks. So if you enjoyed this video, guys, make sure to share it around, and I will speak to you in the next one. Thanks for watching.